save one for me.
There we are. I'll pass them over to you, young man.
Good day to you all. I do hear that there be poachers in the woods, so you best keep your eyes open. The other things that I will tell you about is you must be careful of the soldiers, of the charcoal burners, and of the bodger there. For the charcoal burners and the bodgers be lies and cheats. They be thieves as well. If they tell you they are not thieves, then that does prove that they are lying, does it not?
Yes.
Oh yes, definitely.
And the good lady earlier, she did warn you about the soldiers. They will conscript the gentlemen among you, and they will make their own use of the ladies.
Ooh. Is there any joining in?
Stop smiling, Mother. You follow the road, so lucky.
Be there a good crop of blackberries there?
Oh no, not at this time of year, as you can see. You're too late at all.
No, some of the red ones aren't ready for eating. Oh, look, these red ones aren't ready for eating, so they give you a turmeric actually. And they've gone black.
Excuse me, mistress,
And
but
they've turned black, so they're
how is it that one man has boots and another man hasn't?
One's rich.
I be the apprentice.
I'll give you well paid.
Why should I give him boots? There's no reason to do that yet, because it's not service full apprenticeship. I have taken over, an apprentice is 9 years. I have taken over from my master, who is sadly ill.
What is wrong with your master, do you know?
I do not know. They do not say that. They do say that he has not a great hope of recovering.
Uh-oh.
Kiss up the children. Do not pay heed to them.
Oh. Ugh. Hello.
Oh. You're on the tray.
Oh, I see. We'll let him pass.
No, you let us pass.
Yeah, visitors.
Oh, that's fine.
So we must leave thee here at the entrance to the village.
Well, thank you very much, guides.
This be the wheelwright's house here.
The wheelwright.
Oh, refreshment? Oh, not for me. Right. Thank you.
Oh, well, anyway, I'm going to go.
Do you want your hat?
Mistress,
What's that matter?
we go to bring the Yule log. Will you help?
Good day to thee.
Good morrow.
Have we disturbed your meal?
No, not at all. I am just boiling some water to boil some cloths up, actually. We will be eating at the inn presently.
We go to bring the Yule log. And this is the house of the wheelwright?
Indeed, no, I be Mistress Wheelwright, that be my husband, and there's some soldiers there. They've gone and broken the cart, so he's just gone off to see what can be done with it. But this is his apprentice. He's been with us now since he was 7. We've not got long, you'll be 13, ain't you, son?
Yes, mistress.
So he's only got another year and he will take his mastership then.
What does he have to do for his mastership?
Well, he will have to make a wheel, my dear.
Ah.
It would much point in making him a nice fine frock, would it? Think about it, dear. He's going to be a wheelwright, he's got to learn how to make a wheel. He would also be the village carpenter and the undertaker.
Oh.
So my husband's kept quite busy. You can see there's a building through here. We did have a fire.
Oh, yeah.
And we lost the roof, and the thatcher was not best pleased because he's only just put it up there. But never mind. But the timbers themselves were being burnt through, so we've got a few other carpenters in the village. I don't know whether he's turned up today. I can't see him. He didn't come in yesterday. I reckon he must have got drunk somewhere. But it's too much for one man to do that, so we do get itinerants come through and help us out. But most of the carpentry in the village my husband would have done. I do not know, my dear. If you ask me, it was my aunt getting too careless. So she do smoke, you see. Yeah, she do like a pipe of her own, and I think she must have perhaps got a little careless with it. But we don't really know because thatch do go anyway.
Yeah.
Thatch do go up.
Was anybody injured or?
Oh no. Fortunately, the fire did, and we did not lose the whole house, only the roof. Because you take the thatch down, you see, because it's a thatch that catches. You take that off, and the fire stops. But made a hell of a mess, I can tell thee. Now, I do live here in my family. I have 5 children, most of which have now grown up and left home. But I do have my small son left, but he's out walking with my niece. Because of course it is be a Sunday, so we don't do an awful lot on a Sunday. But I do believe I've seen him up through there in the woods. He's lying in ambush, playing bows and arrows.
Yes, we've passed him on the way.
Yes, well mine is the little one. That's Master Edward. Now, have you got any questions you want to ask of me?
What do you plan to have for your meal?
I don't know what she's doing. We will eat at the inn today for our dinner, but tonight I will cook a vegetable broth for our supper.
So what vegetables do you use for that?
We will have onions and carrots and anything we can find, basically. Some barley and some beans, and I will make that into a good strong broth for tonight. We will have that for supper. Of course, we will always have bread and cheese.
Do you make your own cheese?
No, I do go to the dairy. You see this building directly in front of us with this gentleman sitting in his carriage? That is our dairy.
How do you light your fire?
Well, I would either use a tinder box, my dear. I would more often than not take a brand from the inn, because the inn's fire never goes out.
It never
you
goes
see.
out.
Well, very rarely anyway.
What do you drink?
We would have small ale, my dear, as usual. My husband would like the strong ale, of course. We drink a lot of ale, because it's a very good food, is ale.
Oh, that's right.
It's very good for thee. We do tar that, and that do come down in the winter. Of course, if it's very cold, we will go sleep in the inn. But we will have to... Oh yes, indeed. She can get quite a lot of people up there. Well, he's standing in the swamp, my dear.
What be you girls doing then?
Get an icon.
Are you getting acorns? Is that to feed your livestock?
No.
Is it just for fun then?
Yes, just play.
Oh, right. Oh, well caught.
Methinks the woodcutters have bitten off more than they may chew.
This is a good log.
It'd be a poor sawhorse.
You're not of my making.
James, Mistress Spinner has the dry bowl. I have another mould.
Who?
Young Rebecca. Rebecca, can I make you a bow and arrow? And if he finds me a nice shaft of wood, I'll make you one.
And did you make your own wheels?
No, the bottom made the wheels. And the wheel light.
Somebody's going to write me a bow and arrow.
If it goes well.
You won't get that out of there, that's the roots of the tree.
No, but I need one. I asked him if he would get me one.
What?
It's getting there now, but we could lose it very easily if they stop. And then all of a sudden you'll hear a sloshing noise, and then it will have separated to butter and buttermilk, and you'll hear the sloshing. And then I have to strain it through the sieve. And then we'll have a big jar of buttermilk, a jar full to drink, used for cooking. And we'll have butter, and that I wash and strain on.
This is how it was done in them days, isn't it?
So it's done now.
This is how it's doing now.
Sorry.
You keep on saying it wrong.
Well, he does, doesn't he? Never learn these men, you know, never learn.
I can't get used to going back 300 years.
This is the soft cheese that I make. Don't know, did I show you? Was it the other group? I made that. It was hung last night. I'll go over to the inn in a moment.
Was it like a cottage
This
cheese?
is a curd cheese, yes, yes. I use the rennet to make that. It's from the lining of a young cow's stomach. It smells quite strong. A spoonful of that, if you put it into warmed milk, it will turn it into the curd and whey. But for the soft cheese, I simply hang it in a bag, the curd, overnight, and the whey drains through. That's last night's whey. That'll go to animals, be that to the pigs and whatever we've got. And then in the morning, I'll have the soft cheese that has salt and flavour. Whatever. I've got onions in that and carrots. But the hard cheese has to be made in the cheese moulds, the cheese press. It takes much longer. I put the curd in here, press the lid down, the whey drains through. It takes 2 or 3 weeks until the cloth is dry.
So the whey is a byproduct that is no good for
well, no,
us.
it can be used for cooking, but it usually goes to the animals here. But you can eat the whey, yes, it can be used for cooking. There are recipes, I've never used it. But it's a good food drink, so it's good for the animals.
And this is the end
Taste it
product.
if you wish. That's butter, yes. It's very soft, but it's quite fresh. But it's not salted. Because I have salt.
Lovely.
It's very expensive.
I don't like
it's
salt.
Salt from the bay, so unless I want to keep it, I won't salt it. It's a very good drink. The children like it here. It's not ready yet. It may take a little longer to stay. It's very hot.
Yes. Come back. It's when we hear you slosh.
Slosh, slosh, slosh.
It has a mind of its own, mistress. We cannot tell.
And these be your daughters?
Yes, that's true. There's another one about somewhere. We'll take it in turn.
They certainly get good strong muscles.
It's not hard, it's tedious. Well, it gets thick at the end as a hard, but it's not much hard.
Is this a job for women?
Oh yes. Yes. They will learn this craft and then have a way of making their living. It takes a long time to make good cheese. I've made it for 13 years now. It's taken me a long time since I came to the village.
They smell good.
Well,
I'm going to bore
is it
you.
a benefit to me, mistress?
I need this come from sleeves.
Where's that? It's not that I'd know if you told me.
You see, these people drink.
Oh yes, 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 yes.
Well, it's very interesting for me.
Old history is better than new. Old history is better.
That's my tea, yes.
Oh, yes.
Which can be gathered
I'll
up
put
to
a
go
bobbin
around
game,
cuffs,
didn't I?
they can go around sleeves, and they go around the top of men's boots. So the pedlar brings us the laces,
and he brings us the threads to do, and he will tell us how much he wants, and then we will do that amount of lace for him, and then he'll come and collect it the following week, and he'll give us the money for it, and we get paid 6p a yard. But this is an apprentice pillow, and I have an apprentice lace maker, and she's 6, and that's the age that we start them at. And her mother would pay us £2 a year to apprentice her to us. And this is her cushion here, so she's doing a very simple border lace. We probably won't get very much for that lace because it's a very coarse lace. And I bet but we would get probably a penny or 2p a yard for it, as long as she keeps it clean. And but the complicated laces, like Mistress Izzy's got one on her pillow over there, and that's a more complicated lace.
Do they?
And I'll show you this one over here. I'll show you Mistress Izzy's pillow.
Well, our cows live in common, but our cows all have horns, you see, just like that. And everyone comes in and they with horns.
As you can see, this one here. Sit down, you can sit. These are the sort of laces that we would do.
How old are you?
And because we have to keep the laces so clean, we can't have a fire on in here because of the dust and the dirt will get in. We can't do it outside either, so it means it's having to work indoors to do the lace, because if we get it dirty, then we don't get paid so much. This type of lace, which is the black lace, is the most intricate to do. It takes more time and we would get more money, but it's very hard on the eyes. And so, you know, you could only do that in really good daylight.
No, they don't. They've never heard the word. Now you know what a scullery is? You know what a scullery is? Well, you tell them, if you were a scullery maid, you'd be doing all the pots and the grates. Yeah. It's the kitchen, what you call a kitchen. That's what we call a scullery, where all the work's done. Yeah. And you'd be out there, and at 10 years old, I'd send you up to the big house or one of the big farmhouses, and they'd have you there, and you have to work ever so hard. You have to get up with the sun. What time did the sun come up this morning? I bet you didn't see it rise, did you? Oh, we do. We get up with the sun, you see, because it's too expensive to have lights. So we gets up with the sun, works all day, and we goes to bed with the sun. Do you have lights in your house then?
Yeah. And so many of the women that have had babies in the village would come and help at a birthing, and so the woman would sit on that. Do you want to try it? It's ever so comfortable. And if you hold on to that, you see, that's where you would hold on so that you could push down. It's very, very comfortable. It supports your back. That's why Mistress Lorna uses that for her lace, because it's comfortable on the back. And did the wheelwright make it? I mean, is no. Mistress Izzy's husband brought that one home from abroad. It's from Sweden. So the ones that we had in the village before were very rough. They were made by Oh, you'll meet the bodger. Just round the corner there. Yeah, so Mistress Lorna's put her cushion out here today. It's not ideal because it gets...
Good day to you, sir.
Good day to you, sir. My, this is a most strange contraption. A chair with wheels upon it.
Need a horse. Need a horse to pull.
You need a horse? Oh, a horse! I do beg your pardon. God is a remarkably deaf, you see, sir.
And you see, we don't wear our own lace because we can't afford it. But of course, this.
Just thinks I shall have to have one of those when I'm following the gun. Tie me to the trail and take me away.
We can't enough for all of us.
That is the glove maker, sir.
Oh, right.
Do you want me to show you the gloves?
Would be very interested, mistress.
Would you put one on? I will show you my interesting glove as far as the video is concerned. This is being made for one of the local gentry, the young man that lives in Place House at Titchville.
Right.
He likes to think he's a very, well, he is a very wealthy young man. And he did tell me when I did make the gloves that he wanted very young fingers. I said it looked silly, but he said he was paying money, so I should do what I'm told. In fact, They're the height of fashion in London at the moment, and they're also a status symbol. Any young man that can wear gloves with fingers that sort of length, it's an outward sign to anyone that doesn't know him that he's very wealthy. He's obviously can employ people to do all his work for him.
But they don't actually work as gloves because they're split open so you can see the fingers.
No.
Ah.
Now, there is, I have been told that for good Queen Bess they did make fine gloves with holes across the fingers to take her jewellery, to take her rings.
But those all seem to be open at the fingers.
They're not finished made, sir.
Ah, I know, I understand, mistress. Right.
It's not finished.
I understand.
Finished. We have got all the rest of the bits here, look. These are all the bits to go in the...
Ah.
If I can find them.
I thought they did look like a cockerel, you see, with all its finery.
No, sir. They are not. One of these days we shall finish them.
Right.
There's the other one, you see, that's cut out.
That's
the other one. But it's not got very far. But these, in fact, are the fourchettes to go in there.
Ah, now I understand, mistress.
To go in, yes. But you don't have a fourchette in that one, but you do in these. Just got to have that put in.
I see.
To make the...
Fascinating. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, I thought that for a long time, actually.
You can carry it!
Black women do not have their own anything, they do not have purse. Or is that my baggage?
Yeah, she's my tutor, my...
I won't mind your
Boy!
and be respectful.
Boy! Bring thy shoe.
Do the fire.
Laugh, tuppence, that is a good offer.
Oh, pence on you one.
It's the old pence on new ones, after they only do one coinage. Going to the king.
Just holding up well, young man.
They're not us to got the money in Queen Bess,
Holding up well.
I have pennies from long way away, over the sea.
A man who today, you do have a coin, you do say Queen Bess on the back. Do you have the face of Queen Bess?
Yes.
If she'd been dead, that'd be no good. Queen Bess died before I was born. I do be 37 summers, and she died 40 summers ago.
I have my needle and thread.
Be foolish man that I put shoes on women.
I'll drink to that.
Did I get set up on by Brigand Master? Had I clothes taken?
I've had my shorts pinched. Well, I've had my trousers pinched and cut by those soldiers.
He'd be a drinking man, master. He'd be going in the inn in a minute.
Definitely.
Yes, the best, definitely.
There'd be the grey goose, the landlord be at home, and see the greenery in the roof, there'd be a new barrel.
They don't smell much in the fresh air either. They're better to be in a closed chest, in amongst clothes. Anybody else want some? Want to have a smell?
What be they for, mistress?
12 years old.
This be a pomander. You never seen a pomander?
I never have.
This, you put these in between your clothes, so drive away the smells.
Or replace the smells, I would have said, mistress.
It does drive away the demons that do cause the plague.
Is that right?
That's right too. What be that thing you hold?
This be a device from another land. And it do help deaf people to see properly.
Do help, but deaf people can see.
Aha, you have spotted my deliberate ploy. This be a new device for helping deaf people hear.
To help them to hear? That's right, yeah. It does look like witchcraft to me.
It doth indeed.
This is no witchcraft. This is merely a clever new invention. Comes all the way from Turkey. A land far across the sea.
Animal, bird.
I have not been there.
It is a wondrous place. Ah, who be this young girl?
Mary.
Hello, Mary. What are you doing, Mary?
Getting sticks broken off that long one for the
Are you
fire.
collecting the acorns up there with the other girls that I
Yes,
saw?
I'm doing both things.
You're collecting wood for the fire and collecting acorns. Very good.
I'm doing to get the wood.
Okay, Mary.
She be a good hard worker.
She is a good hard-working girl. daddy? Where has he gone? What is he doing? Is that your daddy? He's your daddy as well.
You know, once you've learnt to read and write, you're going to have to go on educating yourself, can't you? I mean, the boys, they send to college and that, but they don't send girls to college, unfortunately.
Can you read and write?
Yes, I can. Can you? Can you read and write? Good girl.
But there's not many books to read, though, is there?
Well, there are some. I mean, we've got a little collection. My uncle got the Herbals of Master Culpeper and Master Gerard and books of the Bible, and there are other books. I must admit I love books. So I'm always looking for a book to read, and I like books on travels, and sometimes there was Richard Hakluyt's Voyages, which tells me where many of my things come from, and I've got that.
Yes, I noticed things like coffee.
Yes, that's
We've
right.
heard of this, but where does that come from?
No, coffee, they generally get it from Arabic, from Arab lands. It does come from Africa, but, and there's some of it they grow in Jamaica, in the West Indies, I think. I think that's Arab coffee. You see, they've got a lot of trade with Arab. That's why I've got an Arab spice. That's one you very rarely get. It was sent to me by an Arab physician. He said it was beneficial stuff. A nice savoury stuff to sprinkle on your food. And,
Is it right there are only 2 or 3 people in the village that actually can read and
that's
write?
right. There's only, well, I mean, I'm a visitor. I come up from Gospel. There's me. I mean, Mistress Helen can, I think, possibly Mistress Roslyn, but we all you see, it varied, as I say. Some did it, I think, partly whether your father was against the idea or not. Partly what some people work for ladies, and they are kind and teach their maids to read and write because it's an advantage, you see.
Do you actually pass on your skills to other villages?
Yeah, I would do, if they wanted. In fact, Mistress Roslyn's son is learning quite a lot of this business because he thinks he might like to be a physician. If they can ever get him through all the different exams and things and get some money together and send him to a college.
That'd be finer to what? Yeah, does that have any strength, mistress? Ah, it does.
Get out of the kitchen. Push you here.
Could you borrow 4 from him? Depends what we have left. You know? Got many bowls left.
Good day. How much be a meal at this inn?
It'd be a penny. But it'd be only Charles coins we could take.
Ah. That's going to be difficult.
Oh, beg your pardon.
Come in, have a look.
Come on, then I'll get it in a moment.
Boys game.
Yeah.
But we're placed upon the road, and that will be a fortune.
I understand there's lots of soldiers about at the moment.
Aye, plaguey ploughboys dressed up as soldiers. They know nothing of soldiering.
Were you a soldier one time?
Aye, I was a soldier in the Anglo-Scottish Brigade in the Low Countries before I inherited the inn.
So I hear there's trouble afoot.
Ah, there will be. Parliament seeks to increase its estate at the King's expense.
And which side will you fall on?
I'm a King's man and always will be. These plaguey Parliament roads.
So what happens if the Lord of the Manor decides the other way?
We own the inn. You can say nothing to us.
You can't?
I know.
I heard tell that all the villagers had to abide by the decision
They hold their land from the Lord of the Manor.
but we own the inn.
I see, so that makes you independent.
Aye. We can have any view we wish.
What of the bishop? I understand he's a powerful man here.
Pardon?
The bishop, the local bishop's a
Bishop
powerful.
of Winchester.
Yeah, so who does he side for?
The bishops will side for the winning side as will always.
I don't matter. I'm happy to see
Well, his
Hi, thank
but
you.
he's a strong man.
Yeah.
Up that way.
Up that way.
Service? How old are you? Oh, 2 years you sent up service. I have to get... That's right. But they not get good money, do they, those nurses? They have to control.
Are you remaking your shoes? Have they come undone?
Whatever big cut. I mean, you're obviously very poor, right? Yeah, I reckon you're very poor.
It's nice, isn't it?
No lace, no ribbons, no full sleeves. At least your wife's got a skirt on, I'm pleased to see. They like to nice big cut. Just want to get nice big cut. Now, are you sure? Not like a normal.
Two lots behind me.
Do you want to try it, Ma?
No.
Many a woman quivers at the sight of my pole, sir. So I will show you how it works. From the pole there is attached a strap of leather. I have to explain this slowly, sir, otherwise the women folk won't understand.
That's okay.
From the pole there is attached a strap of leather which passes round the work I'm working on. And it goes to a pedal on the floor. When I put my foot on that pedal, you see what happens? The springiness of the pole moves the leather, which moves the work I'm working on. So when I put a chisel on it, I can chisel the wood and make simple round shapes. But I can only do it on what we call the downstroke, sir. See that? So that's how I earn my living, doing that. If you do that every day of the week for a living, do you know what you find? You find you get very strong muscles in your leg. You feel those strong muscles in my leg? See that? Very strong muscles.
Yeah. I'm not having this.
She's broken out in a cold sweat.
She'll go in the stocks for that.
Will she, sir?
I wish I could see you better.
Oh, never mind, mistress, you can feel me instead.
Yes.
It's all right, isn't it? If you can't do one, do the other, eh? That's right. I'll show you the sort of things I make. If anybody'd like to sit down, you feel free to do so. I'll show you the sort of things that I make on my pole lathe.
Sit down, he's going to let you see him.
I made all these this morning, see? I made lots, see? Well, I can't count, can I? Can you count?
Not very well.
I didn't think you could. No.
I look a bit.
She be a woman anyway, she can't count.
Only a woman.
That's right. Did you go to school?
Yes.
You did? You must have got rich parents to send you to school. Waste of money sending a loose woman to school, isn't it?
True.
You know
They
you're
don't
a
come
loose
any
woman.
looser because she got no hat on.
That's right. You have no coif upon your head.
No.
Mind you, I like loose women. Do you like loose women?
I love
sir?
them.
Do you, sir?
I love them.
I will pay you 3 pennies, sir.
You can have her for 2.5.
2.5, sir. 2.5.
Spend the rest on ale.
Right, sir. I will show you where you'll be warm in my bed this night.
Right. Hey, I'm in
We're on our way now. You look in there, you will see my bodger's hovel. This is my bodger's hovel. This is where I live. I will tell you more about that in a minute. This is also the sort of thing I make. I make balustrades like this.
She's skin too, she's written on you.
I was robbed.
Balustrades like this that goes in banisters. And I'll show you other things too. This is something I'm working on at the moment. When I've finished this, it will be cut in half. And this will be a pair of objects that will stand upon your mantle. There will be a hole here and a hole here. And in those holes there will be tallow. Now what do you think they'll be?
Candlestick holders.
Candle holders! Yes, sir. Candle. Are you a bodger, sir?
I recognise the kinship between us.
I thought you might, sir. I've heard you're a bit of a bodger, sir. Candle holders. Now, I don't have time to finish this while you're here. But here's one I made earlier. Here's a candle holder.
Be this Blue Peter.
I have heard tell of this Blue Peter. Is he a bodger in my wood,
He definitely is a bodger.
Or if he's a bodger in my wood, sir, I will have his ears. candle holders to light your way. You light your way at home with candles, don't you? You don't? What do you do, child? Do you sit in the dark? Well, what do you do then?
We have a light.
Well, this is a light. What sort of a light do you have then?
We have bedroom lights.
Do you? Well, we have rush lights in our bedrooms. Made from rushes, soaked in fat. What sort of lights do you have?
We've got, I've got a light switch.
You have a witch on the wall, don't you? I've heard about this. Because you have an enchanted power for your lights, which you call electrickery, with witches on the wall to make it work. So do you believe in trickery and witches, child?
No, because we've got Sue and a clown and an alien on my walls. Haven't we, no?
I think the poor child is enchanted. I think she doth have a disease of the brain. You don't believe in trickery and witchcraft, do you, child? I'm glad to hear that, because you know what we do to little girls who believe in that. You've heard of the ducking stool, haven't you, sir? Not a nice thing to have.
Get rid of the demons.
I also make simple furniture for the people of the village. This is the sort of thing I make, simple stools like this. I use wet wood, but of course what happens to wet wood when it dries out? Well, the joints do fall apart. So after 2 or 3 weeks, the furniture I make falls apart. But of course I don't give what you have in your century. You what do you call them? Guarantees, is that what it is? I don't give those. I guarantee that my furniture won't last more than about 2 weeks. But by that time, of course, I'm gone because I travel round from village to village. Do you know I've been as far as 10 miles in my life from here? Any of you ever travelled 10 miles in your lives? You ever been 10 miles in your life, mistress? No. You have? I have. You look as though you've been about a bit.
I have.
When it's time to go, I take down this sailcloth off the top, which I got from a fine sea captain. Because my house, you may notice, is different from the ones in the village. In the village, they're made of wattles and daub. They told you what the daub is that they put in the wattles, did they? They did. Mud, water and cow shit. And some straw. But I have a sailcloth on the top because I move from village to village. When it's time to go, I take the sailcloth off and I fold it into a parcel and I put it on my wife's back. And my wife Mary does carry it to the next village. You know why my wife carries it, don't you, sir?
That's strong, you?
No, I don't have a horse. A man doesn't need a wife and a horse, does he, sir?
I could do you on something.
Speaking just between ourselves, sir, what would you sooner have, a wife or a horse?
Horse.
So would I, sir, because they don't nag so much, and they don't get headaches either.
And you don't have to keep the wheels, give them a bit of ground.
Just give them a bit of grass and a bit of hay, and they're happy, sir. Right. Not always any of that, is it, sir? No of that, sir. That's right. So you're a man after
that.
None of that either,
No,
sir.
no.
Yes, the man is a bodger after my own heart.
Yeah.
With my wife, the Mistress Mary. If you were to see the Mistress Mary, she would stop an entire parliamentary army approaching. She's so wide. Talking of which, are you for king or for cause?
For king.
You are for king?
Yes.
You're for that filthy king? You can say that in a village with soldiers at the camp. You are not a parliamentarian. You will not leave this village alive. Especially wearing that gold round your ears. Round your neck and on your ears. You have gold in your ears? No, you haven't. You've got it around your fingers though, haven't you? And round your wrists. I can see it. That's right. They will take their knives, they will take it from you. I can only warn you. There are vogues, vagabonds, thieves and footpads abroad. In here.
Close to here?
Very close to here. Closer than you might think. That's where I live with Mary and my 3 children. I had 6, but I sold the 3 girls. You know why I sold my girls? How old are you, child?
4.
4. What is your name? Rebecca. Come here, Mistress Rebecca. I will show you why I sold my 3 daughters. Rebecca, in that clearing over there this morning, there stood a fine tall beech tree. Now my 3 sons came along with their axes, and in the time it took the sand to fall from the top of the glass to the bottom of the glass, they had chopped down that tree. Now Rebecca, I want to feel the muscles in your arm. So you do this, so I can feel the strong muscles in your arm. That's it. Very strong, Rebecca. Let me feel the muscles. Do it, Rebecca. Do it. Oh, you are doing it. Rebecca, you haven't got any muscles there, have you? So if I gave you a big axe, could you chop me down a tree? You could. Rebecca, I think you're fibbing to me, aren't you? You're not telling me truths, are you? You couldn't really cut it down, could you? No, so you'd be another useless mouth to feed. But take heart, sir. Take heart, for they will pay 10 pennies at the big house for young wenches like this. They press them into service to become fine ladies' maids. Would you like to become a fine lady's maid? You wouldn't. You want to stay with Mummy and Daddy? Well, you better go then and stay with Mummy and Daddy, didn't you? But certainly in our time, that's what happens to our little girls. Right. My 3 sons are learning to be bodgers after me, as I learnt to be a bodger after my father. We live a simple life and we eat simple food. My wife Mary's setting coney traps at the moment for our tea. You ever eaten coney?
Yeah.
What's coney in your century?
Eh?
Rabbit.
Rabbit, is that what
Yeah.
you call it? Rabbit, that's
Yeah.
right. She's out there catching coney for our tea. We will cook it on the fire tonight. Our fire does 4 things for us. You know one of them now, we can cook on it. What do you think might be another reason that we have a fire? Heat, that's right, keeps us warm at night. Wasn't it a cold night last night, mistress? I was huddled around my fire trying to keep warm. 2 other reasons I have a fire. You think what they might be?
Keep the wild animals.
Keep the wild animals away. Are you a bodger's woman?
No, but she's working on it.
You seem to know a lot about this, don't you? I will offer you 3 pennies to warm my bed this night.
Better see my husband.
No, I don't want to offer him any money. I want to offer
He might not let me go.
you. On the other hand, you just might. You hadn't thought of that, had you? Is 3 pennies enough, sir?
I reckon so.
You did all right. There you are. You didn't even argue the toss, mistress.
So what be the 4th reason, Mr. Bodger?
4th reason, we've got light.
That was the 4th
That's the 4th reason. We've got light, we've got protection.
I didn't think of light.
Light. What do you think I see by? No. I don't rub my 2 boys together.
This is true.
And make light. So that's what I do. Now for those of you who've seen the pole lathe, I'll just say to you before you pass up the path, remember that the charcoal makers are liars and thieves, and if they tell you that they're not thieves, well it proves they're liars, doesn't it? So remember what I told you about the gold, alright? Don't let them slice it from you, alright? And I bid you farewell.
Good day, Master Bodger.
Good day to thee, sir. Good day to thee.
This be not witchcraft, this be a new toy from the Turk lands. And what be you doing, mistress?
I be eating my dinner, sir.
And when you're not eating, what do you do? Do you waste your time away?
I would not have you say that in front of Billy, sir.
Who is Billy?
Billy be the master charcoal maker.
Ah, and where be he at the moment?
Do not ask daft questions, sir. He be in the ale
In
house.
the inn, I thought so. Are we cooking apples over here?
My daughter be cooking apples, do you not, Jane? She does not speak. She does know better than to speak. You do know better than to speak, do you not? She's a child of sense. She's a well brought up child. You, sir, are wandering in my home without permission. You not ask.
Me in the trouble they wait. That's her fault.
What was her fault? My fault. I said to me have a look from the outside. But this is all my home. That is the path, and this is my home.
My apologies, madam.
Mind about your kick.
Billy is not here. Billy does have a very sharp knife. And Billy does tend to separate people's fingers from their bodies. Get a cold. You do? You should not laugh.
Why have you got eyes in your house?
To protect them. It's a curse. If you enter without asking, you'll be very ill. You'll die. If you ask, it's all right. Well, so I'm told. Anyway, I've never tried it. I do enter often, but I live there. There be no rats. Did eat the rat for tea last night. Billy did go off and leave us no food.
So be it.
If there's coverage in front of Woodham, then the pipe region from short each man in the pipe block faces outward, so that all four directions, all four faces are covered. Then they'll be given the order to charge for horse. Pikeman, charge for horse. See what the pikeman does, stabs the bottom of the pike into the ground, pushes his right foot behind it, then lowers the pike to the level of the horse's chest. Imagine it's 4 ranks deep, shoulder to shoulder, all these pikes straight up and forward, horses are up to the level of the right. And in those circumstances, the horse drives home with a very little pike, firmly placed to a post. Underneath the angle, pike, between the ground and the pike, all the musketeers can go to cover. Yeah, the falconers, they call them gunners. Well, they're best not stand there, because they're getting capsized. Be cover, pikeman. Yeah, a manner. Have you any questions? Lovely.
What happens to all the ones that get injured then? Are they looked after? Nurse?
We have a doctor. I think we have the army would have a doctor or two. It depends how bad you go hurt. I mean, if it hurts me seriously, I won't go to the doctor. I need Dr. Sophia Clinton's problem is to cut it off. And it hurts. So I've told. I haven't lost any bits myself, I don't tend to either. If you know questions about the pike and the musket, would you like to pass on to the master gunner? He will explain the artillery to you. The artillery isn't a part of the regiment. The artillery is just the musket and the pike, you see. You've just arrived, haven't you? Have you seen the musket and the pike?
Nope.
No. Well, you won't see the musket anyway because we haven't got one here. They're all off for rabbit shooting, but we've got the pikeman here. I'll explain about the regiment to you. The regiment, we have 10 companies in our regiment, each of which is about 50 strong. So we make 500 men altogether. And there's about 50 men here in this camp. We're recruiting soldiers and we're collecting taxes, to be blunt about it. Also, we're keeping an eye on the locals as well. Keeping an eye on the locals, but most of them too thick to be worth one about. They don't make very good soldiers, that's for sure. That's a local youngster we've picked up here. We think he's got one of the charcoal winches in trouble, you see, and he has to leave home in a hurry. Now, half the regiment will be made up of pikemen, and the other half will be made up of musketeers. Now, musketeers, they supply the firepower for the regiment, you see, and the pikemen are the shock troops. So only the boldest, the biggest, the bravest, and the best of men are chosen as pikemen. And there's me, of course. And there's him. I mean, he makes a good pikeman because he's too thick to be scared, you see, I think. Now, on the battlefield, the role of the musket, of the pike, is to protect the musket against cavalry. You've seen that bit. It's also to, if the enemy seems to be wavering under the discharge of shot from the musket and from the artillery, then the pike will be called upon to advance as a body and drive the enemy from the field of battle at point of pike. I'll show you some of the evolutions, or rather he will show you some of the evolutions of the pike now. Pikeman, have a care. You see he's now standing at the order position, which is how we stand when first formed up. Advance your pike. You see, he's standing with a pike up there. That's how we'd carry it on the field of battle, in the presence of the enemy, because from there you could go to all the other evolutions. It's quite comfortable carried upright, balanced. You see he's standing in a gentlemanly posture with his right foot in advance of his left and his left hand gracefully clasping the hilt of his sword, were he to have one. Parliament hasn't seen fit yet to supply the money or the requisitions to supply all its soldiers with swords or indeed with armour. That's it. Pikeman, shoulder your pike. How the pike is carried on the battle, or on the march, on a day's march from one camp to the next. With the pike resting comfortably on the shoulder, and this way it won't get caught up in the trees, you see. Recover your pike to advance. He's not a very good pikeman, I must point out to you. He lacks the grace needed for the. But we'll get it into him.
It's heavy.
Is what?
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
Isn't it?
No. No, it isn't. No, I must. Now, drive the enemy from the field of battle, giving the order to charge the pike. He carries the pike. Now, you must imagine, anything up to 100 ranks wide, anything up to 10 ranks deep, all their pikes interlocked facing towards you. Marching on you, with a pike levelled at the level of the enemy's face and throat, because, like you, often you will be called upon to combat other pikemen, who will also be armoured with helmet, breast to backplate. So it's the most exposed position, saving the obvious, is his face. So you aim at the enemy's face, and also it has a more scary, fine effect upon the enemy, doesn't it? To have a pike division advancing, each one of whom is aiming towards your face, or so it seems. Recover. I think you've seen all the positions of the pike, together with those you've seen earlier, the charge for horse.
Charge of the horse.
So you see what a pikeman does in battle. You see, this is the kind of helmet a pikeman would wear. This is an officer's helmet, or a cavalryman's helmet. The soldier, when he joins up with the regiment, order your pike and the doctor lays the posture. He'll be issued with a coat, often he'll be given a buff leather coat as well to wear underneath the armour to keep it from chafing. Are there any questions?
You've explained it well, Master. We'll go on to the
indeed,
cannon.
I'll have to learn to warble more then, won't I?
Thank you indeed.
I don't want to be too clear to you. I want to leave you as confused as possible. If you'd like to go on and see Master Gunner,
we shall do.
He will explain to you for the artillery. The artillery is
Shall it strike you there, mistress? You'll lose a good portion of your heart and lungs, and a piece of your spine, and a hole the size of about a far across the back of your coat. Shall it hit you there, you'll stand there and watch your intestines and everything else fall to the ground in front of you. Because when one of these little things hits you and it is red hot, and flying at a very, very high speed, it makes a hole in you that big when it leaves your body.
It spreads when it hits.
When it strikes bone, it spreads. Sometimes, if we do not have pistol balls, we use carbine balls. And there we use 60 or thereabouts, and they will make an even bigger hole in you. Now, if you should come closer, we will entertain you with a little whiff of grape. And to make up grape shot, we take miscasts like this, basically like that. Because this one you can trim and make a small pistol ball from, but that one you don't. And we put in small pieces of flint, broken glass, any iron bolts which are sheared, anything like that. And you run into a battery of small field pieces like this, all 8 of them firing together. You run into a solid wall of moving shot, about 24 feet across and about 4 feet high. And a piece of this shot will go through 2-3 people before it stops. The front row, the front rank of you become shredded. Now, having said all that, it is in theory. The guns are wildly inaccurate at anything over about 300 yards. So what we do, we open fire, we make a terrible noise, and we cause you to lose your concentration, we cause you to lose your confidence, you cannot think, you don't know what to do, you're frightened, you're deafened, you can't see anything because of the smoke, and your line begins to wobble. And your line develops ugly bulges. Instead of having a straight rank of soldiers, you have a bulgy, wobbly line like this. When the cavalry come in, they just trim it straight for you, see, by hacking the stragglers to pieces.
And when the cavalry come at the guns, then we bring out the gunners' pommanders. A pomander
is a small
ladies
bag.
use, a nice little bag like this, filled with sweet scenting herbs. When they go to the jakes, the privy,
Lest they faint and
they
fall.
hold it under their nose.
Lest they faint and fall off a seat from stench.
Gunner's pomander is a nice little bag, like a case bag, but it's filled with quicklime and little lead nibs. broken
fine gravel.
Any glass, if we can actually find broken glass, that means we look for that carefully. It's a rarity, you know, keep it careful with glass, it's expensive. So, we use all this, and we fire it so it explodes just in front of our cavalry. And the horses run mad and blind. With blinded riders on their backs. And they charge into their own ranks, and by God, that sets for confusion among them. Yes.
Oh, indeed. But we only use that against foreigners. We don't use it against English people.
Yet. Yet.
I doubt if we ever will. Now,
I do not doubt that.
I also have here what we call...
You fought in the Scottish Wars and in the Americas. I fought in the Low Countries and in Germany. And in Germany, God, I've seen anything. They would burn the foe alive in their bloody churches.
Yes, this
and
is
bar
true.
the doors against them coming out.
This is a gun of
There's
sword.
nothing.
This
When
is
you get one religion against another, there's nothing. Two branches of the same religion.
There's a gun of sword, short bladed, no edge, no point. It is a bone breaker. It can be used with either hand. I just happen to be a gunner who's left-handed, and if you shall attack me, I will go for your head, and I will crack it like a breakfast egg. Or I will go for your collarbone and crack it, or your shoulder, or your upper arm, your elbow, your forearm, your wrists, your hands and fingers, your knees and your shin and your ankles. It's no good going for your thigh. You have too much muscle on that. The sword will bounce off and leave a very, very nasty bruise. That is a bone-breaking sword.
This?
It's only short, so you can climb around the wheels of a gun and not trip over it.
Solingen rapier.